Get serious. Show me the money. Dollar signs in the chat. Dollar signs in the chat if you're ready to talk this shmoney. We got a lot to discuss today. Dollar signs in the chat if you want to get into it. If you want to talk money, you want to talk finance, you want to talk econ. If you want to talk marketing, this is business. We got to get to the money first. You know what I'm saying? You work hard, play later. You work first, play later. Okay? And one of the best in the business and marketing is here. You already know who it is. It's them fat boys. Them fat boys is back.
One gorilla versus 10 big boys with fat nigga tech. Who wins? We pulled up to the zoo to put this debate to rest. Introducing Harambe 2, weighing in at 430 pounds. Grip strength, 1,800 PSI. Punch force, 1,200 pounds. Favorite meal, mango and violence. He built like a tank, moves like a demon. And in the right corner, the heavy hitters. Equipped with belly shields, gravy blasters, hover thrones, armed with fat nigga tech. The zookeeper saw what was coming. Pulled out Lil Shock Sticks like that's gonna do anything. The world held its breath. Was this the moment when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? But then, Harambe 2 spoke. He said, we do not have to fight. Why battle each other? When together we can break every chain. You right. Let's fuck these skinny zookeepers up instead. Freedom tastes like mangoes and rebellion. We asked the gorillas where they wanted to go. Back to their natural habitat or somewhere else. Harambe 2 answered quickly. Take us where no gorilla has gone before. We docked onto the Big Dipper. Next stop, the moon. Where should we take the gorillas next? Drop a comment. Hey, yo, shut the fuck up. It's fat nigga season.
That was a good twist. Yeah, they got that. That was cute. That was cute. Good twist on the gorillas. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Dollar sign fat. Poppin' meme coin. Let's take it to a Billy. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Anyway, does anybody here know my favorite stock? Does anybody know my favorite stock? We spoke about this 2 days ago. What my favorite stock was. Does anybody know what I believe from my high horse? You said it. Financial reports are in for Wingstop. The financial reports are in. With a record 126 net new openings in the first quarter, 18% net new unit growth. Look at these numbers. System-wide sales increased 15.7% to $1.3 billion. 126 net new openings in the fiscal first quarter. Domestic restaurant AUV increased 2.1 million. Domestic same-store sales increased 0.5%. Digital sales increased to 72% of system-wide sales. Total revenue increased 17.4%. Net income increased 221%. Chicken. I try to tell y'all, man. When I found out how much people love chicken after they dragged me all across the internet, I said, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let me get some. Let's take a look at the chart. Okay. Look at that. You see that big green candle right there? Yeah, that is, look at this. Just look at this. This is 1 day chart. This is the 1 day chart. Wingstop. After those announcements came in, it just took off. We went from trading somewhere around 228. Now it's at like 260 something. What at 261? Crazy. Look at the 5 day chart. Look at the 5 day. Remember Bloody Monday? And I said, hey, you guys might want to get a couple of stocks. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Yeah, it's my baby right here. We back. We are back. In the middle of a recession, allegedly. We are so back.
I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus.
This shit is too easy. I got niggas in my mentions complaining, talking about, oh my God, you're a Trumper. Why are you defending Trump? Nigga, shut your dumb ass up. You don't know shit from shit. Okay? U.S. GDP numbers is in. And then, you know, this has stoked a lot of fears in the stock market. Stock took a little dive today. Took a little dive. U.S. GDP drops to 0.3% in Q1. Donald Trump says has nothing to do with tariffs. Be patient. Is he correct? U.S. GDP dropped for the first time in 3 months to 0.3% in the first quarter of the calendar year 2025 amid Trump's ongoing tariff war. It says right here, now this is according to the government agency. This isn't, according to the Trump admin. The U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. They say the decrease in real GDP in the first quarter primarily reflected an increase in imports, which are a subtraction from the calculation of GDP, and a decrease in government spending. See, people just look at the headlines and run with it. But when you dive into the details, it tells a different picture. Okay, you got Anomaly out here grifting. He's been on the, anti-Trump train. I don't know what his growth strategy is, but that's his thing, right? Like, just hate Trump. And it's like, okay, whatever, bro. But, I'm not here to play politics. I'm here to talk money. I'm here to talk dollars and cents. And we're talking about the GDP, right? We're talking about is our economy growing? Are we growing internationally, right? So you got GNP, that's going to be, the money revolving inside your nation. GDP is going to be trade with the world. Now, the only reason why the GDP is down is because we had an increase in imports. Now, why do you think those increase in imports? This was, some people are speculating, was because many companies were anticipating the tariffs. So they bought a lot of goods in the very beginning, right? In the very beginning. Don't forget them big ass shiploads of gold that came over. Don't forget them shipments of gold that came over. All right. So there was some preparation. There was some preparation for the tariffs. Now Trump responds to all of this hoopla. He says, this is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. Tariffs will soon start kicking in. And companies are starting to move into the U.S. in record numbers. Our country will boom, but we have to get rid of the Biden overhang. This will take a while and has nothing to do with tariffs. Only that, he left us with bad numbers, but when the boom begins, it will be like no other. Be patient, says our president. Okay. Michael Pierce, deputy chief U.S. economist of Oxford Economics, says there has never been a recession caused by imports. So some people are saying this means we're having a recession. And Mike's like, look, we've never what are you talking about? There's never been a recession caused by imports. Like, what are we really doing here? He said, while they are recorded as a subtraction from the GDP, imports show up as an offsetting positive elsewhere because they show up in increased consumption or business investment, or they're recorded as an increase in inventories, they said. We've got to pay attention, people.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
We've got to pay attention, okay? Don't get caught up in the headlines. Actually read the article. Now, I said earlier that, these are not Trump's numbers, right? That's what I said. So these aren't Trump numbers. Because what does it say right here? It says Q1, right? Now, some people are really bad at math, okay? They're really bad at math. Yeah, balance sheet increase. So let's do a little quick basic fifth grade, because some people, it seems like they haven't passed fifth grade math. Okay, so Q1, what does Q1 mean? Q1 means first quarter of the year. There are 12 months in a year. So if you were to break the year up into quarters, that would be 3 months per quarter. Now let's count. January 1, February 2, March 3. So that's the first quarter. The first quarter ends in March 31st. Okay? If the Trump tariffs against China, the big increase, happens in April, is that the first quarter? April 2nd, thank you. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So if we want to judge Trump, you know what we got to do? We have to wait for the Q2 numbers and see what that spells. Now, my assumption is we're going to see a decrease in imports because of the increase in tariffs on China. Okay? So we're not going to see the same import numbers in the Q2 report. Also, we got to understand that, some of that January was the end of the Biden administration. So really, we're judging Trump off of, 2 in a third month. You see what I'm saying? So, and then also the effects of things take a little while to set in. So Q2, Q3, let's look at that. Let's look at the Q2. Let's look at the Q3 numbers and then say, all right, Trump don't know what he's doing, or he knows what he's doing, or Bessent knows what he's doing, or he doesn't know what he's doing. The Trump admin as a whole. So that's the numbers we got to go by. Unfortunately, people can't count. They can't count to 3. And that's what's sad. That people literally are trying to tell me that we should judge Trump off of Q1. When really I'm like, nah, you got to wait till Q2 because the increase in China's tariffs wasn't until Q2. That happened at the beginning of Q2. So we got to wait for April, May, June, which means we're not going to get those numbers until July. So everybody fucking relax until summertime, okay? Sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. All right? This is numbers we talking about here. This ain't politics. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking numbers. That ain't the only Trump that knows what the fuck he's talking about. Okay? Well, before we get to the next Trump, here's the big issue. Here's the huge issue. Okay? The huge issue, I'm going to show you who we should blame the economy on. I'm going to show you 3 media outlets. Number 1 right here. We got to blame Bloomberg. Look at it. Trump says he deserves a pass as data shows GDP contracted. Trump says he's best off to start as president. Right here. You see this? Bloomberg, obsessed with this guy. The economy says something else.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Okay? Bloomberg, number 1. Number 2, Financial Times. Trump advisor struggles to soothe investors in talks after market tumult. Financial Times.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
And finally, The Economist. These are all mainstream media outlets with a ton of influence. What does this one say? America may be just weeks away from a mighty economic shock.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
The Economist, Financial Times, and Bloomberg will do more damage to the stock market and our economy as a whole than Trump ever could. Markets revolve around sentiment. If people are fearful, they'll sell. If people are optimistic, they'll buy. And these outlets are stoking fear in people. They're stoking distrust in our administration, the Trump administration. And that is really what's going to create poor market conditions. You know, if we had a communist, a truly communist takeover and said, you know, all media's got to be state media, and then all your stories had to be positive, the markets would look vastly different. I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying if we did, okay, the markets would look vastly different. Got to talk positive about your country. What media do we have? And just talk down on you, and at least be accurate. At least be truthful. At least be neutral. That's what I want. I want them to be neutral. Just give us the information and give us the facts. Okay. All this, you know, controlling market sentiment is trash. So that's what I'm at war with. Okay. I'm at war with market sentiment. I'm not interested in stoking fear amongst the viewers of TGR or my Twitter followers. I want them to feel confident. I want them to be happy. I want them in a good mood. I want to do the opposite of what media gets paid for. Media gets paid to keep you in a low vibration and keep you fearful. I want to do the opposite. So I'm always going to try and find the positives in life. Now, if there are some negatives, I will tell you about them. And, well, Eric Trump will also tell you about them. Let's hear from the president's son.
Our banking system is broken. Our banking system is antiquated. Our banking system favors the ultra wealthy. And what actually got me into it is the fact that I realized our banking system, it was weaponized against the vast majority of people in our country, either the people that don't have the zeros on their balance sheet or people who might have worn that red hat that said, "Make America Great Again." And it forced me into the crypto world. And I'm telling you, if the banks don't watch what's coming, they're going to be extinct in 10 years.
Chat. He said banks may be extinct in 10 years. Where have you heard that before? No banks in 10 years?
Hotep Jesus? Hotep Jesus? Hotep Jesus?
Crazy. So the warnings are there. The warnings are there, people. They're there. The warnings are out there. The banking industry is going to look completely different. I got more proof. The United Arab Emirates, aka the UAE, are making moves as well. UAE's largest bank, FAB, to launch what? A stablecoin. First Abu Dhabi bank plans to launch a stablecoin under the dirham. They said the partner said the intention is for the stablecoin to be used by consumers, corporates, and institutions, both domestically and for cross-border payments, as well as for what? AI, machine-to-machine payments. The stablecoin is coming. This is our new money, okay? This is our new money. I want you to I want you to understand. Now, right now we call them stablecoins. I just got an intuitive thought just now, literally less than a few seconds ago. It's probably not going to be called stablecoin. They're going to find a new name for this, I think. They're going to find a new name. It sounds too technical. So I think the everyday consumer will understand it under a different term, but we'll all know it's a stablecoin. Now, yesterday we spoke about a partnership between the UK and the US. We got more news. UK draft crypto legislation. They're crafting up the crypto legislation. Look at this. Says right here, a key aim is to ensure that entities that engage directly with UK customers in relation to crypto assets are regulated in the UK. You know what that means? Yeah. See, when you can program the money, you got more control. So let's say you go online and you post a meme somebody doesn't like. Texas is passing or discussing legislation right now to stop people from posting political memes. We're going to talk about that soon as well. But like, you want to you make memes, huh? Okay, well, let's cut off these transactions. Yeah, that gate's coming up. It says so. Certain crypto providers will fall outside of the regulatory perimeter, including foreign stablecoin issuers, even if UK residents use their stablecoin. So yeah, this is, as I've said, the new borders are digital currency.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
The new borders are digital currency. Okay, that's just a fact. We're going to talk about tech in just a second, but first, YouTube, come on over to Kick, 2 p.m. TGR. Shout out to King Jae for the clips. That concludes our Show Money segment of the day. Don't you feel like money? Gotta get right to it. Zuckerberg is hard at work